All right, I see a red box. Inside that red box is the word live. Consulting my host manual. That, in fact, means we're live. Rodney, you're a brave soul coming back again. I'm so grateful that you're here. And as if you need an introduction, if you would be so kind as to share with the fine fans out there who you are,
Who I think I am?
who you think yeah, it doesn't
What?
have to be you
Right.
specifically. Yeah.
Rodney Crowell is the name, and I think I'm a songwriter. I am a amateur grandfather. Uh,
Amazing.
I'm a friend, and I'm a grumpy old dude.
I challenge that. I don't live with you every day, but you've been I think quite cordial to us. I want to remind everybody as well. He's a member of Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. He's worked with so many amazing artists, which I think is a testament to the man's talent. Emmylou Harris, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, George Strait, Keith Urban, Alan Jackson, Brandy Carlisle, Margot Price, Van Morrison, Bob Seger, John Denver, Jimmy Buffett, and the Grateful Dead, just to name a few. In his spare time, the man writes. He's an author of the acclaimed memoir. If you haven't read it, you need to. China Berry Sidewalks. He's a recipient of multiple Grammys, ACM, and Americana Music Awards. He's delivered an astounding 15 number one hits. I know I've said that before, and it still is just amazing to think. And tonight we're celebrating what could be deemed as a lost album, lost, but thankfully discovered from a fan perspective. Then again, was recorded 2 decades ago. However, from my perspective, it feels timely and topical today, and I think all of you will agree. And the material is absolutely stellar. The album features Guy Clark, Emmylou Harris, Lyle Lovett, just to name a few. And it was recorded, in 2006, 20 years ago, after a string of hit records that the man delivered. The Houston Kid, 2001, Fate's Right Hand in 2003, and The Outsider in 2005. Folks, this was worth the wait. And Brendan, if you would, please roll the digital.
Thank you, Steve. You made it very easy for me.
Yeah, I don't know. We roll that video because it gets my adrenaline going, but I was already amped up knowing who was coming on this evening. I'm Steve Harkins, your host on Talk Shop Live. And once again, welcome back to Talk Shop Live's rock and roll channel. And the man he covers all aspects of genres in my book. You can't really categorize him, but I can tell you one thing. He's an American treasure, the one, the only Rodney Crowell. Rodney, thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here, truly.
And where do we find you this fine evening?
This would be at my house in Middle Tennessee, as they say it around here. Yeah, I'm at home.
Well,
come on in.
I'll tell you what, man, if I was there, I'd be right over for sure. And I just want to remind everybody that if you'd like to ask Rodney a question or you have a comment, use the chat function. We'll get to as many as possible. And Rodney, I think I've said this to you before, but it still applies probably now more than ever. But in today's somewhat contentious times, while you may be considered an entertainer, what you do is far more important than that. Music seems to be the one common thread that we have, and regardless of religious, convictions or political affiliations, when you set foot on stage or you deliver a new album, it brings people together. And so thank you for what you do, man. We need you more than ever.
Wow, thank you. Well, thanks for reminding me of that. And I take the work here's the thing, at the very center of it all, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that for 50 years, I've made a living making music.
Yeah.
and attempting to entertain people, attempting to be real enough, to stand in front of an audience or send music out, recorded music out, without feeling like I'm some kind of shyster or some kind of fake. So far so good. I think I'm getting close to figuring out how to do this. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm improving. I feel like I'm getting better, honestly, I do. I tell Claudia, my wife, I said, I think I'm getting better at this. And I don't know, maybe I'm fooling myself, but I certainly will say this. I think my voice is 20 times better than it was when I was in my 20s.
Yeah. No doubt.
My voice needed to be lived in for a little while. For
That's a
a
good way to put it.
and
Yeah.
and now I feel like a grown man when I sing. It's good. It feels really good. I feel confident.
That's great to hear too, because, man, we need more Rodney Crowell in this world, and congratulations on your new, or shall I say, old album, Then Again, and honestly, I can say this with total conviction, Rodney, this thing's a masterpiece. You talk about, man, a great case study and how great music stands the test of time. Impossible for me to sense that this was recorded 20 years ago. I mean, it feels like this is a record that you just delivered from the messaging to the recording itself, the performances, and you gotta explain to us, why was this album shelved?
Isn't that interesting? Really? Well, you said something earlier about I made, um, at the turn of in the beginning of the 21st century. Now that's really interesting to hear that. I told my daughters, I have 4 daughters, I said, "From now on, the work that I'm gonna do," and it started with the Houston Kid.
Yeah,
I said, "From now on, the work that I'm gonna do, I want this to be when I'm out of here, I want you to be able to point to the work that I do from now on as the work that you're proud of that your father did." And that started with the Houston Kid.
right.
It was an album that I discovered something about myself with the help of Pete Coleman, a recording engineer. And then I
Yeah,
followed that with Face Right Hand and The Outsider, and I went on and made, this record that's now called Then Again. I made it, I produced it, I worked with the same people, all my buddies, and when I listened to it, and it just may have been where I was at the time, when I listened to it, I thought, "Oh, man, all of my production tricks are glaring at me."
yeah,
And I put it on the shelf, and I'd spent my own money making the record, and no small fee there, but I got in touch with Joe Henry, and I said, "Joe, I'm bogged down on me." And he said, "Well, come on out." He was living in Pasadena, California.
uh-huh,
He said, "I'll help you make a record." So I went out and I got in the studio with Joe and his pals out there, and I just played and sang. Joe was a producer,
right,
and, we recorded 10 songs with Jay Rose and all those really great players that he has out there, and then I flew back home, and Joe later on mixed the record and mailed it to me, and I listened to it in my car
yeah,
fresh as if I were, bought my own record, and I said, "Wow, this sounds great. I need to do this all the time."
yeah,
Lo and behold, I went on, I kept making records and making music and was less inclined to produce my own records. I was been working with producers for the most part, but I had a new part-time, helpmate and basically a part-time assistant, and she was digging around in one of the closets, and she said, "What's on this hard drive?" I said, "I don't know." And put it on. So we put it on, and it was the album I recorded in 2006, I guess it was.
right,
And I listened to it, and I heard it brand new. I heard it as if I was hearing the record I made with Joe way back. I went, "Wow, this is good." Now there were 3 songs on it that I recorded with Joe. So when I decided, I called my manager, Peter, and I said, "Hey, I discovered a record of mine that's I've forgotten about. Let's put it out. Nobody cares anymore. We can put a record out every 5 minutes if you want to."
Right.
And, so I had a couple of songs in the can that, If I Could Speak to Leonard and the other song, Go Light a Candle. And I said, "I can put these on. We can take the songs that I recorded with Joe off, except for one, 40 Winters." I liked the old version better than the new version, and so I left it on. So there you are. It's a
Wow.
and, it had been mastered. Richard
Yeah.
Dodd mastered it, and I called Richard to say, "Hey, I wanna put this out," and he said, "Well, I'm glad. It was my favorite record you ever made."
It's not yeah, I can
Well,
understand that. And
there you
it's a
go.
if I heard you correctly, you said you had forgotten that this album was, even had been recorded.
Yeah, I had forgot about it. Totally forgotten about it.
So
Um,
something.
I guess somewhere subconsciously, I hadn't forgot about it. It was there, but
Yeah.
I had forgotten that it was, on a hard drive up in one of the closets.
You
So,
know, I'll tell you what, the songwriting is absolutely out of this world, man. I don't know if there was something in the water or in the moonshine, whatever it was, I'll have it you were drinking, and production stellar, and the sonic quality, man. This is a great, excuse for people to invest in a good set of headphones. For those of you who don't know what headphones are, it's the way great music should be experienced, in my opinion.
yeah, get rid you don't want to listen to this one earbuds.
Yeah,
But, well, it's Pete Coleman, who I made those records with. Great, I call him my lab coat Limey because he's British. He and Richard Dodd came over. They were, like, joined together, and they just it was Pete Coleman who got me in a studio way back there in year 2000 and said, "I'm turning the reverb off. You don't need reverb." And I fussed and screamed, and then suddenly I heard my voice. I went, "Oh, there it is. I've been looking for that voice for a long time."
yeah.
It just was as simple as taking the reverb off. And those guys like Richard Dodd and Pete Coleman, the records they make, there's no reverb on the vocal, and so it puts the vocal right up in front of you. And I
I
learned I hated the sound of my voice, honestly,
Is that right?
until Pete Coleman started recording me, and, I discovered it. And even when I went and made the record with Joe, I sang live, and there probably reverb on my voice there, but I didn't care. I discovered my voice, and it was okay with me. So maybe that confidence that I got, "Well, finally, I'm at peace with the sound of my voice. I don't wanna hide it." I think I've been building on that ever since then. I really
Yeah.
do, and I still think I'm getting better as a singer. Knock wood. And I think as I age, maybe I'm blessed that my voice has is likes me better as the older I get than when I was young and it could do anything.
I'll tell you what, you're blessed, and it's absolutely true. Not all vocalists can state that, you know? And, it must also mean too that you're doing some good work in terms of taking care of yourself. And, I've often heard too that, there's other vocalists, prominent vocalists that are very uncomfortable hearing their own voice as well. And reverb has a tendency to be a crutch for vocalists, to try to almost
It
hide
was
behind
for
it.
me. It was for me until Pete Coleman took it away from me.
Yeah, thankfully.
And 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 of course, I stomped around like a child. "I want my reverb."
Yeah,
And he said, "Be patient. You're gonna discover something," and he was right. And
absolutely.
and those records that I made with Pete, are really fine sounding records, and he recorded and mixed, Then Again, and, I bow to Pete Coleman. I mean, he did all of those Blondie records, I think,
Yeah,
and, oh, My Sharona,
right,
that,
the neck.
yeah, the Knack, he's just great recording engineer.
Eh, absolutely, and, you know what else I think is really striking? What a wonderful, album cover. Now, this wasn't in the can, was it? Was this something that was newly created for the project?
Lynn Goldsmith. It
Yeah.
was it was Lynn Goldsmith's photograph. When I made a record, the Chicago sessions,
Mhm.
and sh and I'd known Lynn. She did one of my album covers a long time ago, and she moved to Tennessee, and we got together, and she said, "Well, come on, let me take your picture." So she took some photographs, and we intended to use them, but somebody got the idea on the Chicago sessions that we should try to recreate "I Ain't Living Long Like This"
Yeah.
album cover. Seemed okay at the time, but it's a Lynn Goldsmith, and it looks like it's hand painted or something, but
It does.
it's just her eye. That's just her photography.
It's a thing of beauty. It truly is a work of art. Do you the sequencing, was this something that was predetermined, or did you kinda go back to the well when you rediscovered the album? Because the flow of it's phenomenal.
It's pretty much the way I'd sequenced the album
Yeah,
back in the day, 2006. But like I said, I've had to some of the songs that I recorded, Sex and Gasoline, which was the
yeah,
title track that I did with Joe, it was
yeah,
a song that I had recorded originally on this one and a couple of others. And I had If I Could Speak to Leonard in the can,
please.
and I wanted to get that out for a long time, and I don't know exactly why, but when we decided, "Yeah, let's put this out," I said, "I wanna put If I Could Speak to Leonard on this record,"
Yeah,
which I recorded it before Leonard Cohen passed away, but I didn't get it in front of him, and I got in front of his son recently, heard it, and he gave me the thumbs up. It's like, "This is
that's wonderful.
that I recognize that this is a true, uh,
Y
that you're really going into how you really feel about my dad." So because Leonard Cohen, I was always admired Leonard Cohen, and I thought Bird on a Wire and the
Yeah,
Chelsea Hotel, and even and I knew how brilliant that Hallelujah was. I know that. I've known that, but when I heard Waiting for the Miracle come on that live album,
right?
it just knocked me out. It was like hearing the Beatles
Yeah,
way back, or hearing Honky Tonk Women, but on a spiritual level.
right.
And then he followed it up with Old Ideas, and there's this song called "Come Healing," and, I'd love to speak to Leonard, that's where I got the idea. But and then you want it darker, I realized that Leonard Cohen was at a place that I wanted to get to personally, not like him, but it was to grow fully into yourself spiritually and artistically as
Mhm.
you age.
Yeah,
Uh, and he exhibited it. It's just classic what he did. And I said, "I wanna do that. I don't wanna do it like Leonard Cohen did it, but I wanna find my version of this artist who's functioning right up until it's time to go."
yeah.
And and it was an inspirational to me, and that's why I wrote If I Could Speak to Leonard, just to tell him, "Hey, man, I get it. I wanna do it too."
I love that, and hearing it now, after he since his passed, still seems, you can't tell the difference between whether you wrote this as a tribute to him after, he moved on, or before, as in fact you wrote it, and also, I love the fact that you came up with that mission statement, and kudos to you because you stuck with it, right? That inspiration that
Mhm.
he gave you, was your mantra, right, as an artist, and
It still is. It's
yeah.
still yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You've got so many fans out here. I just wanna pull a few of them that are just, and you're internationally, not just an American, icon here. We've got, Gilou saying bonjour, Rodney from Paris. Uh,
Paris.
Look at that. And we've got C. Wilson that just can't wait for this album. Sound check guy is appreciative of you being here. Jay Broomfeld is just saying what an incredible artist you are. And Jason says hello. And good question from him as well. Why did you title this album Then Again, which I thought was a pretty creative title?
Well, because I recorded it back then.
Yeah.
And I rediscovered it, and it just seemed like it was then, but it was again.
I
I'd re
love it.
I discovered a part of myself again, and I guess that's really what it was. I discovered a part of myself, some work that I did then, uh, and I discovered it again. Because writing those songs, you have to discover them, you have to ferret them out,
Yeah.
and, uh, um, and it seemed clever, honestly, as you just said. I said, "Well, then again, what a title," and I put it. Richard Dodd is a great, uh, arbiter of all things, and I said, "What do you think of this title?" And he said, "I love it." And I said, "Okay, I'll use it."
That's it. It's done. So it shall be. And I'll tell you what else shall be. The fact that we are celebrating this wonderful find as far as we're concerned. And as we said, the title is Then Again. This is an album that was fortunately for all of us deemed a lost album, but discovered. Uh, and we're the beneficiaries of it very shortly, recorded decades ago in 2006. This album features Guy Clark, Emmylou Harris, Lyle Lovett. It officially releases Friday, June 26th. However, fans on Talk Shop Live can purchase their copies right here, right now. And as Rodney's way of thanking you, fine fans, as he has done in the past, has graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies purchased here on Talk Shop Live. To order your copies, hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live. If you're watching this on socials like Facebook or Instagram, comment shop, we'll DM you a link. And if you're watching through YouTube, just click the link inside the description. The rest is quick, easy, and pain-free, unlike the slight arthritic condition that Rodney may have developed signing for you fine fans. But as I have it on good authority, he's well on the way to recovery. Small price to pay for showing how much he appreciates all of you. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the amazing artistry of Rodney Crowell than purchasing and owning a copy. What a concept in the day and age of streaming, owning a copy of an album. I mean, Rodney, you still believe in the concept of an album as a body of work as opposed to consumption by the song. Fair to say?
Fair to say. And I was speaking to somebody recently, and I think about these albums like an art show, really.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I'm gonna hang 10 paintings on the wall.
Yeah.
I want you to come in and look at them and feel them and hear them. It's like an audio art show. That's the way I see it.
I love that. Yeah,
And
absolutely love that. Speaking of what I love, man, the opening track, man, I won't lie. Magical, gritty opening track, killer vocal from you, great guitar work. There's a glorious mandolin part in there too. Just love this one. I'll tell you what else stands out too. There's just some phenomenal lyrics, man. You just shine on this record. I will tell you straight, I won't hesitate to kick your door. You're locked open and walk in. I'm a man obsessed. I must confess. I tear my eyes out just to feel your skin. I won't lie. Man, that got my attention. Clearly, this man's on a mission in this song, but this to me was an instant Rodney classic.
yeah, oh, good, good. I'm glad you think so. I had fun writing that, and I came up with that guitar part, and John Jorgensen's playing mandolin. Now, John Jorgensen he's a guitar god, and a gypsy jazz virtuoso,
Yeah,
but he's a great mandolin player, and his mandolin parts are always off the book, and I love how he played, and Sean Pelton's playing drums on that track.
right.
And also here's another thing is my dear beloved friend Stuart Smith and I
Yeah,
produced this record
yeah.
way when. and Stewart's playing on it from top to bottom. And so I don't want to forget that. And also, Guy Clark is on it. It's it.
Uh, it's an amazing,
Are you?
it's amazing song. Yeah, that interplay with you too.
Yeah. Well, when I wrote that song, I was thinking, okay, I need an acerbic second on this. And Guy was mad at me at that particular time. We had a little falling out. We fixed it.
Is that
But
right?
yeah, he was mad at me, and he was right to be mad at me.
Okay.
I was in the wrong, and I went hat in hand, and we made up, and we kissed, and we hugged, and we were good. But at the time that we were doing that song, he was mad at me as he could be.
Maybe
And
maybe that benefited,
oh, it did,
what he
it
delivered on the
did, and
track,
that's when
you
I
know?
called him. I said, "Guy," I know you wanna cut my throat right now, but you need to get over here. I need you on this record, this song I'm recording.
It
And he said, "Okay." And he comes over, and so you can just hear, he's just spitting at me.
yeah, I love it. You just set the table. I can't think of a better, segue, uh, this track from Rodney's brilliant forthcoming new album, Then Again, and this is Are You One of Us? Brendan, if you would please roll the digital.
There's gold brick refuge in the devil's den.
You're unemployed. They're overjoyed.
Broke dick dirty in a downhill spin.
You're on the brink. And they're in the pink.
They'll use ya, bruise ya, pick and choose ya, rate or date or complicate ya. They're gonna force your hand, they're gonna change your mind, they're gonna stick your money where the sun don't shine. Are you one of us? From the boy in the bubble to the green-eyed girl,
Stick around. They'll hound you down.
to the so-called leader of the known free world.
2x4. You're out the door.
They'll fight you, blight you, black and white you, grip you, strip you, ill-equip you. They're gonna dial your number, they're gonna pound your drum, they're gonna blow your cover clear to kingdom come. Are you one of us? Are you one of us? We'll build your house, buy your car, and make you proud of who you are. We'll find your friends, pay your debts, forgive your sins with no regret. Are you one of us?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the part where the fans get really upset with me, Rodney, because, I cut off a great track, but you know how it works here. If you've been here before, fans, to hear the rest of it, you have to buy the album. That's my job to remind you. And trust
Mhm.
me, it only gets better. Man, I just love, that interplay between the two of you guys. It's just fantastic. And, also what's great is that surprising chorus with an undeniable hook, man, the guitar riff that kind of runs through the verse. There's just so much going on in that song. And man, it's just a great track.
Yeah, why didn't I release it back then?
Oh,
Maybe it's time is now, because
yeah.
it it's not exactly about what's going on now, but there is a divide there. There's us and them in that song, and we live in a time of us and them.
That's right.
So it was maybe a precursor of just how much farther we've dug our heels in, whichever side you're on. But in the song, I was trying to stay in the middle
Yeah.
and speak for both sides of that fence. But anybody who knows me for a little while would know that I tend to go toward I'm a liberal if ever there was one.
Yeah.
But you know what? Really, honestly, in this day and age, I'm in the middle.
Yeah, right, it's
And I
shifted.
never thought that would happen, but I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, the left got a little more extreme. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is. I mean, we're a melting pot, and, at the end of the day, you talked about this other track, and I thought it would be great if we shared that with some of it with the fans as well, because it's another standout, again, from the brilliant forthcoming new old album, Then Again. Here's If I Could Speak to Leonard. Once again, Brendan, if you would do the honors, please roll the digital.
If I could speak to Leonard, I'd don my finest suit, wind my father's pocket watch, and shine my shoes to boot. I'd learn to tie that Windsor knot I've longed so to perfect. If not to win approval, at least the man's respect. You ask me why I've come this far and what it is I seek. The answer to your question, sir, is simple yet oblique. I've come in search of pathways to the things I used to know. I'd love to speak to Leonard once before I go. If I could speak to Leonard, I doubt I'd hold my own. The 16 years he has on me, the women that he's known, his symbolism consecrates the arrow and the bow. His archer's eye sees through the sky and bends the river's flow. You ask me why I've come so far, and are my motives pure? My body longs for healing, my spirit for the cure. To put me in the state of mind that elevates the heart, I need to speak to Leonard, my time is running short.
Beautiful track. Sandra's just saying Rodney is amazing, and Gina Lee, appreciative that you're here. And Chandra wants to know, so anything we buy today will be signed by you? Yes, as long as it's available. So you probably need to buy it now. You know how it goes. When they're gone, they're gone. And uh, Mary Gunst is saying, Rodney, so great to see you. Tammy Calloway Guerin is saying, I love you, Rodney Crowell. It's probably a good point, time for me to mention the man is married, but you can still express your love for the man. We love him in many ways. But what a terrific track. I thought that we really should share that with everyone. And again, this album is coming out Friday, June 26th, but you can purchase it right here, right now. Just hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on Facebook, Instagram. Comment Shop will DM you a link. And if you're watching it from YouTube, all you have to do is just click the link in the description. Bring it on home to Memphis, man. Upbeat, wonderful track, man. I have to hear this one live, and I hope the lyrics are in this album. I should know, but I didn't have an advance. But the lyrics just read like prose, man. A land of cotton, you're not forgotten. Mississippi River just rolls on through, and everybody's wondering what happened to you in the land of cotton. Down on the Delta, remember your soul. We're waiting just to welcome you back to the fold. Tomorrow comes early. You better get humming. The whole damn town is going to know that you're coming. Great energy. Another great track.
Yeah. Well, I made Emmy Lou and I recorded that song on one of our duet albums
Yeah.
some 10 years after that particular recording session. Um, and so when I heard it, I thought, oh, okay, well, we released that. And when I heard it again, but I said, oh God, it's so different. It's
Right.
so different. And Stuart Smith is really on fire. And Larry Klein and I wrote that song, Sweet Larry Klein. Um, and I don't know, it needed to go out there because it was part of those sessions. So
Absolutely. Yeah, glad you left it on there. Another one that's a staple, the Ballad of Artemis and Orion, and man, you just won't let up. Knee slapping track. Talk about a storyline. Again, what a standout. And man, again, yeah, this one alone is like a mini storybook. Just a fascinating lyric, great storyline.
yeah, oh, yeah, the Ballad of Artemis and Orion.
That's right.
Is that the one you're talking about? Well,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the I forget it's so I read a book and forget the writer's name right now, but beautiful book. Did she write Romancing the Cherry?
Uh-huh.
But she's the one that suggested that the rape had happened. I'm not sure. So I had to get it in the song.
Yeah.
And I wish I knew that song, because I've forgotten about it completely. And it's a live recording, John Jorgensen and Tammy Rogers on violin, fiddle, and we recorded it in 1 or 2 takes. And
Amazing.
that's the only time I've ever played the song when we recorded it other than writing it.
Wow.
Um, isn't
Love
there's
it.
a song on there, the when the has-been bents his spleen.
Oh my, that's the best title in the whole album as far as I'm concerned, man. We're gonna
I was happy to get that one out there because, listen, I had my 15 minutes of fame as a country and western singer. I never added the western. That was
yeah.
just, I was a country singer. I grew up my father was a country singer, and,
Is that right?
yeah, well, he wasn't, he was what we would call a local band down in Houston, but he was good. My father was a better singer than me, and he
No
knew
kidding.
he knew so many songs. I mean, he was a farm kid, sharecrop farm kid who would walk 5 miles to hear the Grand Ole Opry and hear a Roy Acuff song once or twice and know it and be
Wow.
able to play it and sing it, and he knew countless songs. My dad did. He didn't write any. Funny thing about my dad, I left home at 15 to join a band called the Arbitrators. I went about 35 miles from home and
Yeah.
moved in with these kids, and we were a teenage band called the Arbitrators. But when I was leaving, my mother told me to wash my underwear or something. And when I was leaving, my dad looked at me and said, "Hey, tell them you write your own songs." And I
There you
said,
go.
"Okay, all right, Dad, I'll do it." So we first rehearsal, and I'm singing, "I've been loving you a little too long to stop now." You know that song.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell these kids I wrote it.
Here's your son.
They shouted me down, "Yeah, that's what I did. I wrote that." And they say, "No." And they didn't kick me out of the band. They kept me.
Uh, I'll
But
tell you what, Rodney, I would pay good money for an Arbiters, T-shirt, you know. And I got to cite some of the lyrics on that track since you brought it up. I don't like the way this new pop country singer flies. He wears his big black Stetson hat, polo across his eyes. No, it's not Dwight Yoakam or George Strait. I'd call a farce. It's that other milquetoast so and so who's never seen a horse. But wait, there's more. I love this. Now what's up with these belly button broads about 8 years old who sing like Chatty Cathy, man? They make my blood run cold. You can give me Wanda Jackson, Kitty Wells, or Patsy Cline. It's a cinch these plastic Barbies have never heard of Chrissy Hine. Man, insert the mic drop there. What a great song. And you have to confess, I mean, was this written with someone specifically in mind or just the whole trend and the shift?
With someone specifically in mind.
I had a feeling. Yeah. I get the sense
But
we won't get that pride out of you, though.
no, I won't. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be very decorous of me because they could turn that mirror on me and say,
Yeah, don't go
"Get the
there.
you know what out of here, dude.
Yeah.
What have you done in the last 35 years?"
Y
Understood. Yeah.
You know what? We're happy just that you shared that song. It's a brilliant track. Sing Your Heart Out with the Kieran Goss and Annie Kinsella. Absolutely beautiful track. This is a real special one and hypnotic as well. Love the chorus. Just a beautiful, beautiful message.
Well, I wrote that song and my daughter Chelsea, my 3rd in line, she came home around age 19 or something and started playing me these songs that she was writing.
Yeah,
And I w and when I heard him, I said, "Oh god, she's better than me and better than her mother." Her mother's a songwriter as well,
yeah.
Roseanne. Um, and so I wrote that song for her, "Sing Your Heart Out, Girl,"
I
you
love it.
know?
That's so great. Did you play it for her first to acknowledge, hey, that you inspired this?
I hope I did.
Yeah,
Um, I've forgotten now, I'm pretty sure I would have. It's a kinda that's one of the things I would do. I would say, "Hey, come here. I wrote this song for you." And it would have been to encourage her, but sadly, her grandfather and her mother and her grandfather's Johnny Cash, as you know,
yeah, right.
and, and she just there was too much of that on her shoulders, and she stepped out, but I hope that she comes back to it because she truly is the the better writer than any of us, I think,
Wow, it's high praise.
were she to, embrace it. Luckily for me, it's like I ran away from home to join a band, and I didn't have anything to pile on my shoulders to prove anything. It
Right.
was just, yeah, whatever's next, it's like, anything to get me out of sleeping in the car, so
Yeah.
different time.
Absolutely. What you gonna do now, number 2, to me, the absolute surprise of the album in my book, man, so rhythmic, truly funky, great groove, Southern fried. Again, another great, lyric, "It's all for one and one for all. There's no last call for alcohol. It's all eyes and all eyes are out for the second coming. There's a day of locusts up and out there running." So you face the truth with Dr. Ruth. The night sneaks up like John Wilkes Booth. That right there, those lines are worth the price of admission alone. Totally infectious. And oh, did I mention also features Lyle Lovett and Shelley Wright. What great track and a surprising track.
Yeah, well, we had fun with that. It was uh, I was toying around with when hip hop was happening
Yeah.
and rap, it's
Yeah.
I think Stuart and I were monkeying around, and we kinda hit on that feel. He was just strumming the guitar, and I just started kinda rapping,
It works.
and I said, "Hang on," and I snuck off and wrote it and, came back and said, "Let's do this," and we had a drum programmer. I mean, we never programmed drums. We always had a live drummer, but we had a drum programmer. Said, "Hey, can you create a beat for us here?" And we did, and I got to spit it out, and it was good fun. Stuart's playing the guitar, and we don't really have any bass on it, and because the kick and the drum machine has got a lot of bottom end. But at the end, how do we end this? And I thought that was really brilliant. I said, I know what. Let's put a steel guitar on the end.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Let's bring
exclamation point.
let's bring Nashville to this
It's the
little
beauty of it.
yeah, this little hoot we're having, because we were really having a hoot. And I would never thought that I would have released that, because out of respect and deference to the rappers. It's like, I'm a white guy, I'm not a rapper. Who do I think I am? But I had to go.
I'll tell you what, you got rhythm there, man. I think you wear it well. You've got nothing to be embarrassed about. I think you earned your wings on that track. That just waiting for the next maybe the next album will be completely hip hop. I'm guessing probably not. But
Probably not.
but I'll tell you what, it is a terrific track, and it was very surprising too, and thankful. You mentioned 40 Winters. Man, this one really spoke to me. Just a beautiful track. Again, great lyric. Why can't break the spell, shake you and make you well? What is it blinding me that keeps me from you finding me? I know you're in there. You haven't gone somewhere that God only knows about, leaving me frozen out. Darling, I promise you this. I won't let you drown in the mist, 40 Winters. I mean, just a brilliant track and song. And I mean, after hearing this one, I truly had to pause and kind of exhale. I mean, it just had a profound impact on me. Beautiful track.
Well, I wrote it for or because of a friend of mine. That I had a song some years ago called "Please Remember Me," and it was a pretty big hit. Tim McGraw recorded it. It was
Yeah.
a big hit. It was number one for a long time, and a woman got in touch with me, and her husband had Alzheimer's, and she got in touch with me somehow. I sent a letter or something, said, "Hey, my husband wakes up or comes out of his trance when he hears that song. Please remember me." It was so interesting that we became friends, and sadly, she lost her son at the same age as
Oh,
her husband.
oh,
And so, wait until 40 years have scorched thy brow. That's Shakespeare. I
yeah,
got I got 40 winters from a Shakespeare sonnet. But the idea of the song is, 40 winters we've been together, and you've gone, but I know you're in there somewhere. And my friend said something really interesting to me. I said, it must be frustrating that your loved one can't communicate with you. And she said, what's frustrating is that I can't communicate with him.
yeah,
Which is, and what she was saying is that I should be able to find the words to reach him. And that's, why can't I break the spell? Why can't I make you well? That song came all from conversations with a friend of mine who lives in Kansas City.
yeah.
And we remain friends, but God, Alzheimer's has wrecked her. And the fact that she's still alive and still willing to breathe is amazing, because she also lost a second son at the
Oh,
same age.
cool. Oh,
Um,
horrible.
yeah, so that song deserved a second go, um, and she deserves better. My friend does, and we stay in touch now and again.
I think this song's gonna speak to a number of people. It's gonna do a lot of good. I mean, I really do. I mean, kudos to you for sharing that with everyone. Michael Crum is saying, I attended a singer-songwriter session you put on at Hill Country Vintage Guitars in Dripping Springs, Texas. I didn't know there was a Dripping Springs, Texas, but that's now on my wish list, a place to visit. And Michael says it was one of the best experiences in guitar songwriting lessons I ever had.
Wow. Okay, good. Good to know.
Yeah, you've got a lot of people that are, just seeking advice. I think you are kinda giving a master class by giving them insight on these songs and how they were constructed. This is from Terry. He's a musician in Canada. His band plays a few of your songs, and his mom says she, can't tell the difference in your voice and mine when I sing your songs. That's my cue to say, "Accept no invitations," but I'm glad he's making a living singing Rodney Crowell songs.
Yeah, yeah, good for him, and, I hope that he enjoys the sound of his voice. I enjoy the sound of my voice now. I mean, I wouldn't want a steady diet of it, but I was back in the studio today working on a song. I'm making another album, and
It's just great news.
I was singing, and yeah, it's just sing a song for a while, and you go, "Oh, okay. I'll try this again another day." And then you come and try it again another day, and the day that you didn't think it was up to snuff actually turns out to be okay. That happens a lot.
Funny how that works out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what too, we're gonna play this, as the outro, but, "Go Light a Candle," featuring Emmylou and, Lyra Lynn. Again, just another really powerful track. There's faith in the eye of the needle, faith in the line drawn in the sand. There's faith in the words of the Bible, though we know it was written by man. And as for the wisdom of women, just think about all those stories we've read, like how Eve and that snake in the garden put dark thoughts inside poor Adam's head. Hey, wake up, Adam, go light a candle. Man, perfect closer, absolutely great, which amounts to an absolutely great album. Again, boggles my mind that this was sitting on the shelf. I'm so thankful that you had the presence at least to put it in the vaults or on the shelf, and how fortuitous for all of us that it was rediscovered.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't erase it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. But that's just an absolutely wonderful track to end this album.
Yeah. Well, I wrote it, at the first time it was an add-on to replace some that I had recorded with Joe Henry, as I said earlier.
Right.
But, my buddy Sam Baker is a great songwriter from Texas, we really good friends,
Yeah.
and I was talking to him about the last election, and a lot of my friends were really down and out about the outcome of the election, and I wasn't pleased with it myself, and, I said and, Springsteen had written a pretty powerful piece, and I was talking to my friend, I said, "I really wanna write something," but I said, "But, I can't lean into it too much," and he said, "Oh, man, go light a candle."
Yeah.
And I said, "Ah." And so I did, I wrote it and and gave Sam, credit for writing because it was his title. And, but then I released it anonymously. We sent it out as a musical chain letter. I don't know how many people I have no idea how many people it reached out there because I did it anonymously.
Well,
When I rediscovered then again then
yeah.
again I said, "Well, I have this track. I wanna take it, I wanna stand behind it. I wanna put my name on it."
Yeah.
So we decided to put it on at the end of the album, and there you are.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a perfect closer, for sure. Britta Wolf, Rom, glad you brought this up. We wanna know, Rodney, us fans, what else could possibly be on the shelf since you found this diamond that's been sitting there for 20 years? Surely there's gotta be some other things. Of course, as an artist, you have to keep moving forward, and we're so excited about the prospects of a new album with new material, but I suspect there's other things, gathering a little bit of dust that needs to be blown off the hard drive.
Well, that's true, and there are things that, I have been very productive. COVID COVID, I was very productive during the COVID lockdown. I was back there in my studio by myself recording songs, a
Yeah,
bunch of just writing and recording. And, oh god, knock wood, I'm still productive. I'm still writing, and I will continue to do, I think, but there are things that are in the can. I'm working on an album right now, today, and, it's, you know, I'm doing the same thing that I would do is like, I want to create an art show where you like an audio art show. Yeah, and I told Jeff Tweedy not long ago when he released that 30 song piece that he did.
Right, right.
Beautiful. I listened to it all and I sent him a note and I said, Jeff, I said, it was like I went into an art gallery and I walked through and stood in front of every one of your songs. I said,
Yeah.
that's what I like to do. I
Such
mean,
a
and
great analogy.
he went big time on it, you know, 30 of them. God bless him.
Yeah.
I'd like to, well, Jeff's already done it. So,
Well, it sounds like you gotta deliver 31 is what I'm thinking.
well, I don't know. I don't know, but I do have, here's the thing. Here's what I'll say, that it's one thing about this modern era and earbuds and streaming and all of it is, and probably 10 years ago, if I'd have discovered this album, we wouldn't have put it out because we would have said, "Oh, well, we just had an album out last fall. This
Right.
is too soon to put out an album." And this, when I discovered, I called my manager, Peter, and I said, "Hey, I discovered this record I made a long time. Let's put it out. Who cares? Nobody
Right.
cares. Let's put it out. We don't have to wait for it, you know, for the
That's right.
cycle to come back around." So I'm just gonna make music and put it out. That's what I'm
We
gonna do.
I'll tell you what, you made our day and our year, and again, I just wanna say we're celebrating what could have been deemed a lost album, but thankfully was discovered by the man before you. From a fan perspective, it was absolutely worth the wait, and we didn't even know we were waiting. How about that? It was recorded 2 decades ago, 2006 to be specific, and, it officially releases on Friday, June 26th. However, fans on Talk Shop Live can purchase the copies right here, right now. And as Rodney's way of thanking you fine fans, he's graciously agreed to sign a limited number of copies purchased here on Talk Shop Live. To order your copies, hit the shop button on Talk Shop Live on socials, Facebook or Instagram comment shop. We'll DM you a link. And if you're watching on YouTube, just click the link inside the description. The rest is quick and easy. And there's no greater way to show how much you appreciate the amazing artistry of Rodney Crowell as he's delivered this canvas or these works of art. As he says, I just absolutely love that analogy. I'm never going to let that one go. But you know, this is just an absolutely amazing release entitled "Then Again." So, Rodney, you the balance of 2026, you've already shared some great news that you're working on a new album, but you also have dates coming up. I'm curious, will you be working in some of the material from this album live?
Oh gosh, I'll have to. I'll
Yeah,
have to.
breaking news.
Yeah. Well, it's, yeah, we got work coming up out there and eventually I will. It's, here's the thing, it's like I've written a lot of songs.
I know.
So to get it down to, you know, 15 or 20 songs on a set,
Yeah,
whew,
and there's
yeah.
certain ones that you know you have to play, right? You can't abandon certain
Well,
songs.
the good thing about the audience that follows me is that they proved a long time ago that I didn't have to play the hits,
Yeah,
that they trusted the album cuts, if for
yeah,
lack of a better word, but they the audience that comes to see me, they seem to be okay. They probably wanna hear "Till I Gain Control Again" or "Leaving Louisiana, Broad Daylight" or something like that. But if I'm off chasing, you know, whatever, "Go Light a Candle" or whatever it is, they seem to be willing to go with me, and I'm grateful for that because it, as I've said before, and I don't want this to be too self-serving or like a broad statement, but it just seems like if I can't hold an audience's attention with the work that I'm doing now,
yeah,
I need to stop. I need to
yeah.
stop. So that's the carrot I hold in front of myself is, which is I gotta continue to work with the kind of diligence where that I feel as if I can hold an audience attention with the new material that I have.
Absolutely, and
Maybe,
I'll tell you what,
maybe.
you know what? As a fan, that gives us something to look forward to as opposed to a redundant show year after year, you know? I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest. I mean,
Well,
it does wear thin.
I never wanted to be an oldies act
Right.
as they call them. That seems like, dying on the vine, but by the same token, when I say that, I can't one must remain humble in this business because it'll knock you down in a hurry,
That's right.
and you can't get too puffed up on what you're doing in terms of how good it is, but you can be grateful that you're still creating at a level that you can live with.
That's right.
And I think but the thing about go back to Leonard Cohen, we'll end here with Leonard Cohen.
Yeah.
My favorite stuff was what he did at the very end, and it was a realization that a life of creativity does not have to dwindle. It can just go out, with shining.
That's
So
exactly right.
I'm
It's
hoping
beautiful.
to I'm hoping to do that. Time will tell,
Uh,
and I'm
well,
just grateful that
yeah, we're not ready to wash our hands of you, and, so thankful, for this album. I also am thankful for all the fans, that, were here this evening, and showing their love and support. For Rodney, and also special thanks to Anna Pearson, as always, and the mighty Peter Leak as well from the magnificent Red Light Management team, also to Ethan and Joanna, and our friends at New West Records. Thank you, Tommy Robinson, and also Caroline Barfield, also to Katie. Our fulfillment partners, All Media Supply, they get you these great Rodney albums, the vinyl and CDs, to you fine folks, and to Brian, Sandy, Tina, Brad, Joe, Jenny, Lavani, Marty, Kate, Sam, and behind the scenes doing great work as always, Brendan, all from Talk Shop Live, but most importantly, to the great Rodney Crowell for continuing to provide his musical gifts for all of us and for combing that vault. And before we part company, any last words you'd like to share with the fans, Rodney?
well, I mean, you're so good. You make me feel important, and I would just turn the mirror back on you and say, "Steve, you do a good job, brother. You make an artist feel important, and you make us feel like that our work is means something, and that's a lot. And you know what? In so many ways, that's enough. Just to know that it's being received. So thank you.
Thank you for that high praise. I will wear that like a badge of honor, sir. I greatly appreciate that. And fans, pick up this great new album or old album, depending on what angle or lens you look through. Rodney Crowell's Then Again on Talk Shop Live, personally autographed by the great Rodney Crowell. And while you're at it, pick up copies for your friends and family. Music and art is a gift that keeps on giving, one that will last a lifetime. Your friends and family will thank you for it. I suspect you worked hard this year. You deserve it. And I have it on good authority. It will enhance everyone's quality of life. Specifically, if you don't agree with me how terrific this record is, my email address is steve@talkshop.live. You let me know, I'll make it right. That's how confident I am you're going to love this record. And if you love what we do here, check out talkshop.live to view hundreds of other great artists who, by the way, many have autographed albums for fans just like you. Rodney, thanks again for coming on the show again and being so generous from your time, and really so thankful that we were able to go through this great album, and so thankful you continue to deliver great art for all of us.
Well, with any luck, I'll see you in 6 months.
Here's a welcome mat with your name on it whenever you want to enter the household, sir.
Okay.
And with that, everyone, stay safe, enjoy life, hang around just to hear this last track. Thanks again, Rodney. We'll see you soon, hopefully on the road as well.
Betcha.
So we took one on the chin, fought a battle we couldn't win, till it all comes round again. It's welcome to the great unknown. So we'll taste the bitter tears till the darkness disappears, while we're leaning on each other, till we can hold our own. There's faith as a distant memory. There's faith as a thing of the past. There's faith made plain that you just can't explain. There's faith that it's not gonna last. There's faith in the false prophet's scorn that was there long before you were born. There's faith that it's all in your head, and there's faith you can raise from the dead. Now go light a candle.
There's faith that we lean on like crutches. There's faith with our greed in its clutches. There's faith in our time of despair, when there's no one to answer your prayer. Go light a candle.